الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بهدي وإحسان إلى يوم الدين. We thank our brothers who have come all the way to give us a great lecture about the Fiqh of Ta'aish in the West, how we live together in the West, how we integrate in the community of the West here. The Fiqh of Ta'aish, or understanding how to live and having to be in a dialogue with the West, came from the Islam on basis. The Islam came with the basis of three different levels. The first one from the faith, on the faith and aqidah, and then from the second one is from the action and how to communicate with them, and then the third one is the communication and integration with them. So the subject today and how the Muslim in the West, they live and communicate and be in a dialogue with the non-Muslim, even with the atheist, and how the Muslim here will react with the non-Muslim. What we found here in the West, a lot of non-Muslim and behave badly, and they become a bad image of Islam and to his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we're going to talk about the basic, from the Shara point of view, of the principle of communication and living with the non-Muslim. We look at how the people, they think, the thoughts of the people, the action of the people, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them depends on the individuals. They react. So we will start with we concentrate on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create the Muslim from his brain, from his thoughts, and then they will think how the people will go in a certain level, and they make the reality, they're living with it based on the differences. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create the people from a different origin. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create them so they can live together. And then we look at from the sources in the Islam, from the revelation, and how the Islam has no problem in dealing with the others, dealing with the human being, with the other atheists and non-Muslim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran in the form of command, say, the people of the book all of us would come together to a common statement between us. So we do not worship, we worship only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or associate no one with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the basic principle to bring us together. So if you look at something to bring us together with the non-Muslim, so look at the common basis between us. And look at this ayah, started with a command. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it in the form of duty, fard, for the Muslim to live with the others. It's an obligation to live with the other in what's common between us. And so you start with communicate with them and integrate with them with what's in between us, and there's no difference with it. And the Muslim, he should be in a state of a good manner and behavior in choosing the words when you talk to them. And so the Quran here gives the best example. He started with the statement, the people of the book, they will like this, they like this statement, because this is described them in a general description and does not specify name, they do not like it. And leave any differences and do not talk with the differences. Try to talk with the common things, bring us together. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran on the time of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that when he's talking to the non-believer, that me and you either in complete guidance or complete misguidance. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he talked to them. Like, we could be two types and we could be different, but he did communicate with them. And he confirmed to them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the providing for both of us, either are completely guided or completely misguided. So, and the Quran also mentioned in this ayah, and do not take some of us as an idol or as God we worship away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As no one nowadays would accept to be a slave, no one would accept to be a god and an idol, to be worshipped away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a common between us, between the Muslim and non-Muslim here. But if they refuse this form of communication or form of integration with them, and at least you did your message in Islam, either if they did not respond to you, you did your fard, you did your wajib, you relay the message of Islam between them, and then you will be witness on them at the day of judgment. And if you look at that example, the Islam make the marriage from the non-Muslim al-muhsana, the protected one, it is halal to marry a non-Muslim. And also the Islam, if you look at this marriage, when you marry one of them, that you have a mixed family, and so you live with them, you integrate with them, your offspring will be one of them, and also you will have the right to enter their houses and will live with them, eat with them. Even sometimes you're allowed to go to their houses without permission. So you become a bigger family. And also the Islam is command us to eat their food. And the Sheikh said that he challenged anyone find that the Islam against any form of dealing with the non-Muslim and dealing a form of selling or buying or eating, or even the way of charity or collection for anything. You're allowed to give some charity to the non-Muslim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that even in zakah, which is a fard, you're allowed to give the mu'allafa qulubum, the people you are entitled to, you're trying to bring their hearts into Islam. You know that they are very close to Islam, so you encourage them by giving some form of the money of the zakah. That's why Rasulullah ﷺ used to advise to give the zakah to these kind of people. And Rasulullah ﷺ, he used to have a statement: have you given a present or a charity to my neighbors today? You're trying to become closer to the neighbor. But nowadays we are the Muslim, we can try to tighten our idea of Islam. Even what's been allowed by our prophets and our Quran, we try to make it tight in dealing with them. Even the Islam allows us to deal with the non-Muslim in the will. If with the non-Muslim you're allowed to bring them to be a witness in your will. And also the taish, or living with them or communication with them, it has three different meanings: from the ideological point of view, or from the faith point of view, and then from economical point of view, and then cultural point of view. And then so we can leave away the al-aqidah or the faith, because then we don't want to be in any differences with them, create any big differences with them. We concentrate on the cultural point of view, because you find the ideology will have some form of contradiction between what we believe in and what they believe in. So we're not going to talk about this. And look at from the economical point of view, the whole world the integration from the economical point of view. All the countries are dealing with each other, Muslim and non-Muslim, and this is it's everything nowadays based on the economy, how the countries are dealing with. And so we come to the main point of view, the culture dialogue, and how we are dealing with based on the multicultural society. When you are dealing with the multicultural society, you have the chance to develop quickly. And he mentioned an example of a German coach. He's the coach in one of the team and one of the international level, and he reached a very high level. And they did ask him, how did you manage to achieve that level? He told them, I'm dealing with the multicultural people from Turks, from the Arab, from German, so they used to be multicultural. So this would be a motive to him, so they can progress. So the communication and living with the non-Muslim, you have to respect their habits. You have to respect the way of life, either as an individual form or groups or nations. The levels in Islam, or from the Sheikh talking about the level of deen, of religion, is the Iman, the faith, and then the Sharia, and then the Ihsan, the perfection. So we concentrate on the fiqh of the communication with the others. It's present on the Aqidah, present on the Iman, present on the Ihsan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that He has created the human being in a different forms. All the people are different. So they are different in their nature, different in understanding, different in color, different in everything. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He wants to make the whole people as one nation, He could have done this, but He didn't do. He left them different. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that they are still different. So in the present form, they will be different until the day of judgment. Different in the language, different in the color, their nature, with everything. So how the Muslim to behave in this country. And we'd like to make some of the Muslims here, they look at the way of the Muslims they should live, and they try to force the way of the Muslim live on the others. They think all the people, they should be in one image, the image of, say, in a certain image of Islam. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us to be different. So the Islam is the truth, the religion of truth. And we are a minority nowadays. The Muslims all over the world are a minority now. So we have to stick with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us with a different nature. And He said about the human being has the freedom of choice in religion. And even this provided by Islam. Also we believe that the difference, but we are different. And the Islam gives the freedom to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned there's no force in religion. So anything associated with the force or so will be invalid. If you force somebody to become Muslim, or you force somebody to leave Islam, or you force somebody to marry or divorce, it will be invalid. So like it didn't happen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, do you force the people to become a believer? And if you look at some example from that, Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu, and he's one of the has the basics of the principle of the aim of the Sharia. One time he asked an old woman to become Muslim, but she refused. And he simply told her there is no force in religion. And also the Sheikh mentioned another example, Thumama. Thumama was during the days of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He used to be one of the enemies of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all the time he's trying to make to hurt Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to hurt Islam. And then he became captured in one of the battle. He became a prisoner of war with the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked him to become Muslim. He said no, he refused. And he asked him next day, asked him a few times, he refused. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam let him go free without anything, without any ransom or anything, and let him go. So when he left Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he tried to think about how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did that to him. And he, by himself, he went to make ghusl and make wudu and came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He told him, your faith, your religion, your home, your country used to be I hate more than anything else in this world other than this. And then nowadays, after you dealing with me, your faith becomes the most beloved faith to me, your religion is the most beloved religion to me. And he became to Muslim and he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. And also he mentioned another example of a Jew who used to live in Egypt, and he used to force, I think somebody forced him to become Muslim. And he did a few things against Islam. They took him to the Khalifa, and he refused to apply the hukm, the riddah, the rejection of Islam on him, and he let him go free, because he knew that once he was based on he forced to become Muslim, so he didn't force anything on him. So Rasulullah ﷺ used to use a very good way of da'wah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and based on every human being is free with his choice. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created and honored the human being. And you don't think that you are better than the others simply because you are Muslim. Respect the others as a human being. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, once He gave respect to the newly born, and then the baby, and then the youth, and then the man, all of them has rights. It varies according to their age. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He took the nafs, the soul, or your soul, and Allah Al-Quran mentioned that everyone is honored. And even Rasulullah taught us that the human being honored even after death. And the Sheikh mentioned that a simple example, that if a man died and he has his teeth from gold and he has a debt, so is it allowed to take out his teeth, the golden teeth, and sell it to pay his debt? I said the different opinion in the scholars on this. Some of them they said no, that honor him and leave his teeth, do not touch it. And some scholars they said that it is a necessity, you have to take it away, pay his debts. But that all of us, what bring us together is the humanity. The humanity of the Muslims, the humanity of the non-Muslim are the same. And all of you belongs to Adam. All of us belongs to Adam alayhi salam. And that's why we are the same humanity. And our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did the farewell speech. He said, "Oh Allah, I bear witness that all the slaves are brothers." Or could you be brothers in the religion, brothers in by blood, or brother the humanity. So all about the roots of the living dialogue based on that we are a simple, and we are the same as a human being. And then we come to the difference in the al-aqaidi of our religion. So our sharia based on based on dialogue, the Quran shows us how to open the channels of dialogue with the others. And even if you look at the word dialogue, or to communicate with the other, it's the derivative of it or formation of it based on come from the throat, and the other word wow, it comes from the tongue. And so the word dialogue comes from the heart and then to the throat and then to the tongue. But some of the Muslims talk to the others from the higher level. They think they are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put them in the high ranks with the status of the martyrs of the prophets and messengers, that He talked to the other people from a higher level. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave us the example of the dialogue with all the prophets and messengers. With all of them, He made dialogue with our Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, and our Prophet Moses, and our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Even He made dialogue with the shaitan. And then at the end of it, He said, the shaitan is your enemy. Take him as an enemy. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the best example for the dialogue. And if you look at a lot of our problems we are facing nowadays, based on that, the lack of communication with the others, like even communication within the same family. But Islam invites us to be involved in the communication and dialogue with the other. But you have to know what to choose. And there is a basic principle for the dialogue with the other, or communication with the other. You have to know how to choose the time, the right time to start your dialogue, and the proper wording, and the nature of the one you're talking to him, how is his status, is he ready to be involved in a dialogue, and you pick the right word when you talk to him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that do not argue or dialogue with the people of the book. You dialogue with them only with the best. You pick the best of your words, the best of the form of communication when you're dealing with a non-Muslim. The Sheikh mentioned that before, one of the basic principles in dealing with the other, communicating with the other, based on the akhlaq, the good manner and behavior and perfection in dealing with the others. And also the Muslim, they have to have in your feeling, dealing with the non-Muslim, you have to have some form of love to the other. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us as a human being and has a form of feeling to the others. So the Muslim should not hate the others because he's non-Muslim. And here we're not talking about aqidat al-wala wal-bara, and the loyal and non-loyal to Islam, the loyal with the kuffar or non-kuffar. This is a principle of religion, principle of aqidah. But here we are dealing with the form of dealing, the manner, the behavior with the others. And Islam did not forbid the love of the non-Muslim. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to love the others and even it was mentioned in the Quran, here you love them, and the mention of the non-believer. And how would you relay the message to the people if you hate them, and if they also have the same feeling to you and they do not love you? But if the people love you, and they will listen to you easier. But if they hate you, no one is going to listen to you. And Rasulullah ﷺ used to say, give us a gift, so this create the love between you. And he never said that give the present or a gift to the non-Muslim or the Muslim only. He make it in the general rule. The bridge of love between the Muslim and non-Muslim, all the time they create a better form of dialogue. And how could the Islam allow the Muslim to marry from the non-Muslim? And definitely he has to love her because she is his wife now. The Muslim allow the Muslim to love the non-Muslim, and they invite him in a good way to Islam. And the feeling which is required by the Shara is associated with the mercy. When Rasulullah ﷺ said, guide all of us, Ihdina, guide all of us. And also used to say to his people, O Allah, guide my people as they do not know. So the principle of dealing with the other based on also in love. The second principle is the justice. When you deal with the other, you have to based on dealing with them in justice. You deal with the Muslim and non-Muslim, your enemy, even somebody unjust to you, you have to deal with them in justice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, be just to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be witness with the justice. And do not make that hatred of the other people would affect your justice on the matters. Be just as it is better in the guidance. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, and do not make if a group of people, even they try to prevent you from reaching the Mecca, would affect your judgment on them. Be just even on your enemy. And also the birr means that the nice dealing of with the others. One of the highest morality dealing with the non-Muslim. Deal with them as you deal with your parents. Deal with them as you deal with your father and your mother. And be good with them and be just with them. Rasulullah ﷺ, one time a man came to him and he told him that you are not giving the rights to the other people. And this is within in the masjid with the others. But Umar ibn Khattab, he wanted to punish this man. Rasulullah ﷺ told him, leave him and give him his rights and give him even more. And then Umar ibn Khattab, he said, why would I give him more? And then Rasulullah ﷺ told them, because you frightened him. And then this man was one of the masters of the Jewish community, and then he became Muslim after that, immediately after that. So, but look at nowadays, we have no project in da'wah, we have no imagining, we have no thinking in the way to make your da'wah. We put everything with a black, we cover everything with a black glass. We see only the negative side. We do not look at the positive side. We have to make a balance between what's positive and what's negative, and this based on the balance of justice. And this is with put the positive and negative and look at both of them at the same time. And this in all you're dealing with everything, you have to bring the elements of justice in your mind all the time. And even if you look at the fiqh, the Sheikh mentioned an example of some water, and the big amount of water has a drop of najas of some impurity from whatever urine or anything, and if it did not affect the general color of the shape of the water, and so he's still allowed to use that water. Especially the madhab Imam Shafi'i allowed to use, because the majority for the water, for the pure water. And it's your duty not to make the other people as a Muslim, but your duty to make da'wah to them and not to make them Muslim. Or the main mission of Rasulullah ﷺ to make da'wah and not to make the whole people on the earth as a Muslim. We should invite the people to Islam by being good example of the Muslim, being good image of Islam, and sometimes as a good image make an effect, 100 times better effect rather than a lecture or talks. And the picture or the image would affect the mind immediately. Once if you look at the websites or lectures on the website, for the media would only learn how to affect the people through the picture or the image. And if you look and we mentioned an example for that, in Palestine years ago, Muhammad al-Durra, the child was killed by the Israelis, and this image was there for a long time. And sometimes simple picture or simple image would last in the mind of the people for a long time and would help to change the thinking of the other people. So the principle of da'wah to the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through being a good image of Islam in everything. And Sheikh mentioned two examples. The example of Southeast Asia, Indonesia and Malaysia, and how the Islam reached them through the trading, through the good image of the people of the trading Muslim, and they stayed there with them sometimes with them, and they did not invite them for Islam. They stayed with them during the merchandise time, and so the people of Malaysia and Indonesia, they stick to the Islam more than anything else, and they became one of the largest developed Muslim countries nowadays. If you look on the other side, the Andalus where it's Spain and Portugal now, and their civilization, the Muslim civilization, lasts for 950 years, because the Muslim there, they're trying to push the Islam there as quickly, not through the best image of dealing with them. So the Islam did not last for long, and what's left there, very little. And that's why dealing with the other, we should try to improve our image of Islam through our dealing with them. And our main task to invite the people to Islam and not to make them Muslim. And that through the justice, through the loving, through making good image of Islam. And if we look at the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when he used to live in Mecca, he used to deal with the non-Muslim, deal with the atheists, deal with the kuffar, worship the idols. And then when things are getting tight on them, he asked the other Muslim to make immigration. Some of them, they migrate to Ethiopia or Abyssinia. And Rasulullah ﷺ, he migrated to Medina. And when he migrated to Medina, he make a constitution there, formed of 52 sections. 25 of them to the Muslim and 27 to the non-Muslim. So he even tried to make it very pure and make the parts for the non-Muslim in the initial constitution for there. And Umar ibn Khattab gave the security to the non-Muslim during his ruling. And Amr ibn al-As, he did the same. And the Muslim nowadays, they should live with and communicate with the other in the principle of justice. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The Sheikh will try to summarize what's happening here at the end. The communication and dialogue with the non-Muslim required to be through different fields according to the regulation from the Shara and from Aqil. The first field you have to, based on the creating the communication, to build our understanding of the dialogue with the non-Muslim. You should start from the home. You should teach your children the principle of dealing with the other, living with the other, dialogue with the other according to the principle of Islam. And the second field is the mosque. It's the duty for the mosque to teach the people who come to the mosque the principle of dealing with the others. Not only through a statement or saying, but the mosque should open its doors to the non-Muslim. Let him visit the mosque, let him know the Islam. And the majority of the mosques sometimes cut this relationship with the community, and especially at the time of Ramadan, and the people will suffer from the noise of Ramadan or the crowdness of the month of Ramadan, and that's why they don't like to be near a mosque because of this reason. And also the third field you should start to create the communication is the school. Especially the school in the mosque here, and the small children come to the mosque, you should teach them the principle of communicating with the other and living with the other. And also in the community or the street where you live, you should also try to establish the principle of dealing with the other or dialogue with the other. And also there's some rules and regulation to deal with the other. And also, number one, the power, the strong should not override the weak. Now, say if you are in a strong situation or a stronger situation, you should not override the other. You should communicate with the other in a similar way. And also you should respect the other, no matter what their belief. You should accept their belief and should accept their habits and their manners and deal with them based on that principle. And also there's some obstacles interfere with the principle of communication with the other or living with the other. Number one is from the historical point of view. Some people dealing with the West, that is from the colonial point of view, they used to invade and occupy some of the Muslim country. Or on the other hand, like the people in Andalus, they look at the Muslim because they invade them before and they occupy before. So this principle will create some obstacles and barriers between the communicating with each other. And also, some Muslims create an isolated community and major barriers between you and the society, and they do not deal with the non-Muslim at all. And also, the principle of dealing with the other or communicating with the other based on two things mainly: the ta'awun, cooperation and communication, and based on your feelings to them. And so based on that, the communication and your feeling to them as a human being, so this will create the cooperation. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned cooperate on the birr and the being piety to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you have to cooperate with them based on dealing with them, based on the way you know them, based on feeling of humanity to each other, and based on the mercy of each other. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the guidance in this life and in the hereafter.